Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Let's be real for a second. We all deal with food storage every single day, yet somehow it's still universally confusing. Today, we're going to master the numbers, the protocols, and the actual science behind home food and milk storage. Because whether you're just trying to keep your weekly groceries fresh, safely storing infant milk, or even whipping up a perfect homemade dairy alternative, the rules can honestly feel like a giant maze. But don't worry, we're going to break the whole shebang down together.
So ask yourself this, is your refrigerator actually keeping your food safe? Most of us just unpack our groceries, toss them wherever they happen to fit, and slam the door, right? We just assume the cold air is going to do the rest of the work. But what if I told you that your daily kitchen habits might actually be working against your food's safety and its shelf life? Today, we are challenging all those assumptions about temperatures, where things belong, and those incredibly confusing expiration dates.
Okay, here's our game plan for today. 1. The golden rules of storage. 2. Decoding food expiration dates. 3. Handling and storing liquid gold. 4. Thawing and warming human milk. And finally, 5. Perfecting homemade plant milk. Let's dive right in. Section 1. The golden rules of storage.
First things first, to keep your food safe, your fridge absolutely has to be kept below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Honestly, right around 35 degrees is the sweet spot. But here's the thing. Temperature is really only half the battle. Placement is everything. You always want ready-to-eat foods on the very top shelf. Then, as you move down, you store foods that require higher and higher cooking temperatures. Ground beef goes below whole cuts of meat, and right at the very bottom, that's where your raw poultry goes, because it requires the highest cooking temperature of 165 degrees. Why do we do it this way? It's all about preventing dangerous cross-contamination. If raw chicken juices happen to drip, there is no way they'll contaminate your fresh salads or cooked leftovers sitting above them.
All right, let's talk about a high-stakes scenario. What happens when the power goes out? Your absolute first and most important instinct should be, do not open those doors. Refrigerators and freezers are heavily insulated. If you keep the doors shut tight, a refrigerator will keep your perishable foods safe for about 4 hours. A fully loaded freezer is even better. It essentially acts like a giant ice block and buys you a solid 48 hours of safety. But if that freezer is only partially loaded, that window drops significantly to just 24 hours. If you pass those time limits, unfortunately those perishables just have to go. Now for your day-to-day routine, the very best habit you can adopt is FIFO. That stands for first in, first out. It's like running a mini grocery store in your kitchen. When you stock up, push the older items to the front and place the newly purchased stuff in the back. It just naturally forces you to use what you bought first. And speaking of using things up, remember that your cooked leftovers, once you've got them properly portioned out in shallow containers, they only last about 3 to 4 days in the fridge. A quick pro tip, just label them with the date using a piece of masking tape so you literally never have to guess. Moving right along to Section 2, decoding food expiration dates. This is quite possibly one of the most misunderstood areas of grocery shopping, and man does it lead to a massive amount of unnecessary food waste. The absolute key here is understanding the difference between quality and safety. Almost every single date you see on a grocery package, whether it says Best By, Sell By, or Use By, is simply a quality date. It's just the manufacturer telling you when they think the food will no longer be at its absolute peak freshness. But as long as it's been stored properly, it is entirely safe to eat past that date. There is, however, one massive, non-negotiable exception here: infant formula. Infant formula dates are strict safety dates. Past that printed date, the manufacturer can no longer guarantee that the specific critical balance of nutrients for a growing baby is still in there. You should never, ever use infant formula past its date. Section 3. Handling and storing liquid gold.
We're pivoting a bit here from your standard groceries to some highly specific, literally medical-grade protocols required for safely storing human breast milk. The CDC makes these timelines super easy to remember with what they call the Rule of Fours. For freshly expressed or pumped milk, it can sit safely on the countertop at room temperature for up to 4 hours. If you put it in the refrigerator, kept at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or colder, it's safe for up to 4 days. And if you freeze it right away at 0 degrees, it'll keep optimally for 6 months and up to 12 months acceptably. And just like we talked about earlier, always store this milk in the back of the fridge or freezer. That's where the temperature is the most stable. Never store it in the door where it gets blasted with warm air every time someone opens it.
Now, if your baby has been prescribed donor milk from a place like the Mother's Milk Bank, there are some very specific rules you gotta follow. This milk has been pasteurized and it arrives frozen. Because you might receive multiple different batches, you have to pay really close attention to the expiration dates on each bottle. Practice that FIFO method we just went over. Always use the earliest dates first. Keep it in the absolute coldest part of your freezer. And here's a crucial detail. Once this donor milk is fully thawed in the refrigerator, the clock starts ticking a lot faster. You absolutely must use it within 48 hours.
All right, Section 4, Thawing and Warming Human Milk. Taking that safely stored milk and actually preparing it for a feeding is a delicate procedure. You always want to thaw the oldest milk first. You can do this slowly in the fridge overnight, or if you're in a pinch and need it quickly, just hold the bottle under cool running water and gradually increase it to warm. To actually warm the milk for feeding, place the sealed container into a bowl of warm water or under warm running tap water. You're going to notice that the fat in the milk naturally separates during storage. Don't shake it. Instead, just give the bottle a gentle swirl to remix those layers. And finally, always test the temperature by putting a few drops on your wrist. It should feel comfortably warm, definitely not hot.
Okay, I literally cannot emphasize this next point enough. Never, ever, under any circumstances, use a microwave to defrost or warm human milk. Microwaves fundamentally alter and destroy the vital immune components and nutrients that make breast milk so amazing in the first place. Plus, microwaves just don't heat evenly. They can create these really dangerous hot spots in the milk, which can severely burn a baby's mouth, even if the outside of the bottle feels completely cool to your touch. Just stick to the warm water bath for sure.
So what about leftovers? The protocols for human milk here are incredibly strict. If your baby starts feeding from a bottle but doesn't finish it, you absolutely must discard the remainder within 2 hours. Bacteria from the baby's mouth gets into the milk, making it unsafe to keep around. If you have thawed milk that has simply been brought up to room temperature, you only have a 1 to 2 hour window to use it. And the ultimate, golden rule, never ever refreeze human milk after it has been thawed. Just don't do it.
And finally, Section 5, Perfecting Homemade Plant Milk.
Let's lighten things up a bit and pivot from the strict science of human milk to a really fun culinary application. Plant milks are absolutely booming right now, but buying them at the store can get super expensive, and honestly, they're often full of additives. Making them at home gives you complete control. But right out of the gate, beginners make a massive mistake. When you're standing in the grocery aisle getting ready to make your first batch of almond or cashew milk, it is so tempting to just grab the snack nuts. You know, the ones that are pre-roasted or salted. Don't do it. Using roasted nuts completely ruins the flavor profile of the milk. The secret to that natural, clean, creamy taste is using fresh, completely unprocessed raw nuts. So what's the magic formula? The golden ratio for your standard homemade plant milk is 4:1. That is 4 cups of water to every 1 cup of your base, whether that's grains, seeds, or raw nuts. This baseline is going to yield a beautiful, recipe-ready milk that is perfect for pouring over your morning cereal, throwing into smoothies, or using in your everyday baking.
But the real beauty of making this yourself is that you have total control. Let's look at how tweaking this water-to-base ratio completely transforms what you get. If you stretch that ratio all the way to 16:1, you get a very light, super cost-effective everyday beverage. Drop it to an 8:1 ratio, and you've got a fantastic dupe for the consistency you'd normally get in a standard store-bought carton. We already know 4:1 is our rich, recipe-ready standard, but if you bring it all the way down to a 2:1 ratio, you create an incredibly thick, luscious plant-based cream. Oh, and if you don't have a fancy high-speed blender or a straining bag, I've got an amazing shortcut for you. Just blend a couple of tablespoons of high-quality raw nut butter directly with water. It instantly emulsifies, it requires zero straining, and boom, you have fresh milk in seconds. Well, we've covered a tremendous amount of ground today, from the very bottom shelf of your refrigerator where the raw poultry lives, to those strict 4-hour safety windows for breast milk, all the way to the 4:1 golden ratio for the perfect plant milk. And you know, these aren't just arbitrary guidelines. This is the actual science of keeping ourselves and our families healthy and safe. So I want to leave you with one final thought. Knowing what you know now about the strict rules of temperature, true expiration dates, and proper storage ratios, what is the very first thing you're going to reorganize in your kitchen tonight? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy organizing.